Hey everybody, all two or three of you. Just trying to get myself used to being in front of the camera and stop doing that with my mouth and lips, I guess. Just so much drama around everyone. Well, not everyone. Some people have normal lives, and some of us always have a movie going on. So, new developments. Um, Another man shot, or more than one man shot. I have not been looking at videos. I refuse to look at some of these videos. I just got caught off guard with Mr. Floyd. My problem, I think I said it in my first video, is I go from guru to badass in a matter of minutes. So I just don't want that energy in me. Um, so many layers. Black people have no idea of all the layers because we've been kept out of the loop. And when that Christianity thing, it has done a job. Now, I'm not talking about true spirituality. I'm just talking about the dogma that exists and the false history and the mixing up of stories and metaphors. It came to me earlier in reference to the uh, revelations in the Bible. I'm like, these archons and these secret societies and these people go back hundreds and hundreds of years. Who's to say they didn't write what we're seeing? Because they were planning it all along. And when I say archons, I mean even above the human grade, more than likely. And I know that sounds crazy, but all the things happening now, I said years ago, like over 30 years ago, I was telling people about the cashless society is coming and the Hopi prophecies. And they said, when you see the mark of the beast, aka this barcode, you know things is going to spiral. They called it the bear claw. When you see the mark of the bear claw, so we know what that is. It's now the barcode on every product. And we talk to people about, and this is when I say we, it was Wandering Feather and I. Things used to show up on my porch where we lived together in manila envelopes and be whole packages about, it could be anything. We got this whole dossier on all the alien races, and they were so intricate, all the way from the grays at the lower vibrational frequency. They can travel planet to planet, interstellar travel, and so many things. Like, but the higher the realm, the more different the personalities of the alien, so-called alien species. Um, who gets that kind of stuff on their porch? And we started doing a reel-to-reel audio, reading the descriptions of each of the different alien races, including the Palladians. Um, I can't think of any right off the top of my head, and I didn't plan this, so excuse me, I didn't look anything up. But wait till society hears that we're not the only ones that exist, which I always thought was weird anyway. Even as a child, I was like, this stuff is crazy. It doesn't make any sense that people live and then die and then you don't know what happens, and they're talking about this heaven and hell. I was like, that didn't sound right. There's too many different choices. I was going to say opportunities, choices in the world for there just to exist a culmination of one or two options. That didn't make sense to me. I don't know how people believe the stories they believe. I embraced Christianity as a child, but just in the sense that this was the only show in town. But I didn't get into the dogma or know as much about the dogma, but I know some of the stories about Jesus and so forth were a little. I always felt like something's missing from this story. And especially compared to these people that I see, I don't see anybody embracing all of that. We got dressed up for Easter, we loved Christmas, went to church. That I don't think people in church will have learned anything different since Sunday school. I mean adults. I mean elders. And because we're such a spiritual people, we may not even notice that the dogma is ruining things because we are just internally a God force. All of us, each of us. And we didn't need the fucking dogma, excuse my expression. We didn't need all that. And they did that to control us. And they've done a good job of controlling us. They've controlled the narrative, they control population, they control weather, they control everything that we can think of that is a part of our daily lives. And my studies have brought me to the fact that this is just what it is here in this realm, this matrix. And can you believe that supposedly we asked to come here? But then when we get off into reincarnation, that's another thing. That's another problem that people don't embrace. You know, um, that the soul has traveled to different realms many times in different forms. I mean, in different bodies. I know that sounds weird to people who believe that when this body dies, I mean, we're not going to be traveling with the same body, but because of the doctrine in Christianity and even maybe Islam, um, the whole death and body thing is real tricky. It just sounds spooky. I mean, Hollywood played a part in that. Everything's spooky. We don't honor our dead. We don't understand it. We don't understand the circle of life. We don't understand that when we're children, our parents are taking care of us. The youngest one takes care of the next one. The next one takes care of the next one. There's a hierarchy. The oldest sibling helps take care of everybody. Um, when the children are adults, they're really supposed to be taking care of their parents. When they pass, they're supposed to be taking care of their altars. We don't understand any of that. It sounds crazy to most people. And I understand that because they spooked us with the Bible and then with Alfred Hitchcock and whomever else in Hollywood, with those, you talk to people about spiritual things, they think you're talking about spooks coming through walls and all kinds of crazy things. So, and white folks never understood spirituality the way we do. Really, it's always a difference with them. Even those of them that are in spirituality, they do not have the natural tendency towards it that black people do, or indigenous people, I should say. People of color everywhere are more into nature, which is a part of spirituality, working with nature, being in nature. Um, I was telling someone last night that they call liquor spirits. I think for more than the reason I mentioned, but what I get is that when people got high or so-called high or took a part of something like a liquor or smoking or a coca leaf or whatever it was to change, alter state of consciousness, that it was to bring a good word or to bring down some information to download and be able to spit out the information to their people or their tribe or whatever. When they wear gold or gemstones, rubies, amber, emerald, diamond, metals like gold or silver or whatever, copper, they all have an energy, a frequency, and they all have different personalities. all of this works together. They all of nature works together. And there's such a realm of gemstones. I never knew there were so many. I mean, it's like thousands and thousands. Carnelian. We talk about tiger's eye, um, quartz, smoky quartz, aventurine, lapis lazuli, lapis lazuli. What other ones can I think of right now at the top of my head? There are so many. I'm surprised I can't think of them. Amethyst, the purple stone, opal. Mm. I feel bad that I can only name about five or six off the top of my head. It's crazy. Probably because I'm just sitting here trying to get through this video so it doesn't bore the hell out of anyone. Um, I think if black people aren't going to lift our frequency, meaning our chi, our vibration, our vibrations are real, we're vibrating very low because all the shit that we talk about is just low shit. I mean, a few years back, I was on the bus and someone was behind me with a whole conversation, two adults, about which now laters are the better now later. Candy. I was like, we are some bored folks, boy. And religion doesn't help us. I mean, there are some people that I know who are in Christianity, and I can count them on one hand, who keep their spirituality intact. They keep their Afrocentricity intact. Um, they just embrace the doctrine of Jesus Christ. I hope I can possibly be a word to somebody. People tell me I should teach. And I wouldn't mind doing that. I think I would start off a lecture with asking people what it is they would like to know. Because I can refer you to people that I know the information if I don't know it. And I certainly don't know. I, 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 I know more than I think the majority of, or a majority of people in society about the spirit world or the internal world. I know it intuitively, not like from books, although I've read a number of books over the years. But to bring all of that together, to be able to package it and give it to people in a on a platform is another thing. So practicing spirituality includes a lot of things. I mean, it's in my everyday life, even when I'm doing regular schmegular stuff. I can listen to whatever I want to listen to on the radio. I have no problem with WAP. I have no. I mean, I understand. Depending on what's going on in the world. I mean, it's not the top of the. It's not at the top of my list of things for young women to imitate. But you don't have to worry about imitating anything if you know who you are, if you know you're a part, that we're all one being. And I just heard this recently, but I already knew it. I just didn't know how to. Sometimes you know things in just the way a person puts them or packages them helps give you a more understanding of it. It gives you more clarity, but that we are one being, all vibrating at different rates of speed. Isn't that amazing? That God is here experiencing itself in these realms, including this one that people think is the only one somehow. But yeah, spirituality, and of course we have to use these words to describe everything. But I pour libation. I don't have an altar anymore. I carry my altar with me in terms of just in myself. I need to construct one again because when I had one, or I had several, I had a Kuan Yin altar, I had a Sekhmet altar, I had my ancestral altar. Who else did I have? I had Lord Ganesha. You can look any of these deities up or any of these energies, you can look them up. I loved Sekhmet. I know she's my protector. and it's Sekhmet. You can see it spelled several ways. I had the altars, and I swear the magical stuff that was going on. I mean, I know it goes on now, even though I don't have an altar, and I'm not sitting at my altar every day like I used to. I used to sit there and offer incense. I always had clean water up there. I would throw cigarettes up there, coffee, and it had to be in the containers for. I mean, I had to have glasses and plates and things of that nature just for the altar. I didn't use them for anything else. I didn't throw my keys up on the dresser or anything. I just, it was their altar. I, and they worked for me diligently. I'm thinking they work for me diligently now, and I'm not. Um, I honor my ancestors, my grandparents, great grandparents. Though I didn't know them physically, I know that we are protected by them. And it's so interesting in reference to the ancestors in the spirit worlds, how Christians can believe that this person no one's ever met or seen, never found bones or anything, but they believe he exists. But they don't believe the people they actually knew that actually lived on the planet, whose blood is coursing and DNA is coursing through them. But they don't believe that they have any jurisdiction over your life or help you in any way, or that they don't need our assistance. And they do need our assistance. So I feel a little remiss in not having an altar, but I do I do honor within myself, and I'm going to not be lazy. My problem is just I've moved around so often, and some places this has not seemed conducive. But lifting the frequency, meditation, or just sitting with your eyes closed, not taking in all the stuff that we take in daily, just allowing the downloads to come. You'd be surprised. I said pouring, calling out to your ancestors. It's best, like, the best is standing in barefoot in some dirt and grass or whatever, or just in the dirt or sand or whatever. Standing barefoot. Crying is really good in terms of crying out to ancestors. I mean, if you're really feeling in despair, I don't know if that's why we feel so much better when we cry. I think there's like several fold reasons why. That could be one of them. That it offers a signal. We offer a beacon to the spirit world because they vibrate on a different frequency than we do. Because our frequency is low as fuck. Excuse my expression again. Our frequency is way down, and it's like it's different. It's different grades of it. You see people that live a beautiful life, very high frequency, beautiful life, beautiful people. They mix with beautiful people. Things are always going well for them for the most part. They travel, they live in lovely homes, their children are doing well, their family members do well. I'd hate to think that was just white people though. But you see, the families of ours that live regular black lifestyle, even some of the famous people, like they're just one person in their family. I'm sure they got a lot of drama in their black families too, because we carry so much trauma. You know, it trickled down from grandparents, great grandparents. They were treated like shit. Their parents were treated like shit. I don't know what white people think would happen. They get a hangnail and it's a tragedy. So to have generations of ignorant people, and ignorant because they've been so abused and traumatized, they don't want to fight back. Jesus is the only thing they probably can reach for that they feel is soothing to them, which is probably an ancestor helping them out. Ancestor can't always get to them because they're not vibrating. They're not presenting themselves with that. Someone described it. I think it was Brother Panic. And anybody I mentioned when I'm talking, you should go look up and look at their videos. If you run across one or two or three that you can't deal with, you can skip through, go to another one, whatever, because everybody's not going to resonate with everybody at every time. You might go to see Brother Panic one day and say, I cannot get into this guy. And you may go back 2 weeks later and say, wow, this guy is amazing. His information is amazing. Bobby Hemmett is another. Just people to get you used to the concepts and the idea that this is real. I've seen some real stuff happen and you would not believe. And people, you tell people and they kind of like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, yeah, yeah. Really does work. Shit really works. Now, I haven't gotten into ancestor money yet. I'm on my way there because I don't have an altar. I haven't, but I'm gonna look into the ancestor money, where you burn ancestor money because in their realm, and it's all about the intention, the energy you put behind something, with your heart. You're putting your intention and your heart into something, and so it's all about your intention and your faith that what you're asking for is going to take place. I wouldn't even say faith. Maybe again the word understanding, and that's another where I got understanding versus understanding because words are important too. They have power. They don't call it spelling for nothing. They say they don't call curse words cursing for nothing. You're cursing. When you spell, you're spelling. You're doing spells with words. Words as in swords. Words are swords. Um, so it's about your intention. When you go pour, or when you have an altar, or when you ask, or when it's about what intent do you have. You want protection. You want love. You want this. You want that. And it's also a frequency thing too. So if your frequency is real low, your vibration is so low, and you're in a very low vibration place, it's gonna take some work. But shout out to all those spiritual teachers with platforms that give their energy. But understanding, going back to that word, Savan Bomar, Sevan, last name Bomar, Bomar. When I first discovered Mr. Bomar videos, I used to tell people, I used to joke, look, you might need a Tylenol and a glass of wine, but watch the videos. Secret Energy and Understanding are two of his platforms, but you can YouTube Savant Bomar. Brother Panic, Nikki Love, or Wunam. These are people I learned so much from, and they all are different from each other. They're not. It's like the inner. It's so many intersections of spirituality. People think it's a boring kind of life. I guess because they think about this heaven where people are flying around as angels all day in the bright light, sunlight, and I don't know what people's concept of heaven is. I can't imagine forever and eternity to go to this place where everybody's flying around. That doesn't even sound right. I don't even know how people are attracted to that. Maybe that's why they don't really practice it. They practice it to stay in the clique or within the norm, but they can't believe this shit. And they're lazy. They don't want to dig for anything. No information. You're here as slaves. Your slave masters brought us here. And you think they would give us a full intel on. We're the ones that have the full intel. They're the fucking babies on the planet. They don't know shit. And somehow we just follow them. We've just followed them. I was looking at TikTok videos the other day. My grandchildren were looking at the mashup, the different songs that they're doing TikTok to, and then the different dances. I'm like, why are they all these little white kids doing our stuff? I ain't see not. I don't know if I saw one black video. Real people animated, nothing. It was like crazy. It's like, what the hell is going on? And I'm not saying this to say I have a problem with white people individually. I have a problem with their paradigm as as spirits, as other entities on the planet. If I meet a person that's cool and they happen to be of the Caucasian race and I like them, I have people that I care about. I can count them on one hand. I mean, not just because I don't live around them. I don't even know. I probably still be able to count them on one hand because they are an interesting bunch in terms of what they're living in 3D, and they've been so have so much opportunity, and they've had so much They have no idea what black people experience every day. They have no idea what we've experienced. They don't know anything about it because they've always had such privilege here. So, why are we going through all of this here? We have to raise our frequency. We have to consider taking spiritual baths to cleanse us of the debris. And this is ongoing. We have to consider pouring. We have to consider having altars. We have to consider sitting down and chanting powerful mantras to help protect us and move forward. And again, it presents you in so that the spirit world can see you, so your ancestors can help, and so that you can have a connection. Anyway, I think I've talked enough, and I hope I've made some point. I've mentioned a few people you can go to, and I hope it's just not babbling. But again, I'm just getting used to it. See where it goes. Peace out, everyone.